Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to Happy Chirp after a short break that I really needed, so I took it. But आज मेरे साथ बैठी हैं फातिमा अमीन. She is the owner of Porcelain, which is a salon here in Islamabad, and she has always been her own boss, and mashallah she is a successful makeup artist.
Oh, thank you.
How are you, Fatma?
I'm good. Hello, Hamna. How are you?
I'm good too,
You
alhamdulillah.
look so nice. I love the glow.
Thank you. It's the highlighter.
I think not. It's the inner glow.
Aw. अच्छा, so फातिमा कब आपने पोर्सलिन खोला था?
Porcelain. I started porcelain in 2015. But if you talk about the thought process, it started way before. It started in 2014. I think मेरा पूरा साल वो ऐसे गुजरा था कि I was planning, I was learning, I was developing the concept, thinking of a name. Like वो पूरा साल भी मेरा उसमें लग चुका था. But we officially opened in 2015. We were based at my house initially. And we were there for around 2 years before we shifted to a commercial area.
अच्छा.
So because उस वक्त the government policies were different, but then when they wanted every business to move to the commercial area, that's when we wrapped up. And उस time पे ये था कि whatever I had saved in the past 2 years, I had to reinvest again, and it was like a start from scratch sort of a thing. So people often think कि एक दफ़ा काम चल जाए तो चल जाता है, but I feel that businesses have their ups and downs. It's a rocky road.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be prepared that maybe you have to hit rock bottom and then climb up again. But the climbing up wala hona chahiye cheez to make things work out.
I think if anybody ever wants to do a business, आपने business करना है तो you have to be prepared कि failures भी होंगे और losses भी होंगे और मसले भी होंगे और
failures ज़्यादा होंगे but then the thing is that you have to learn, you have to adapt, and you have to move on. So for me, when I think about work and sometimes how I'm supposed to take this work ahead, I just take one day at a time. That's like my thing,
mantra, philosophy.
my mantra, right? Like if I don't overthink, I don't overburden my mind and my soul about thinking मैंने ये भी I have to achieve this, I have to do this. I do have targets, I have goals, but I'm also like, I also love myself. So I have to carry everything together and reach to a place where I want to. And I think बताऊँ क्या होता है हमना, when you overthink sometimes you end up doing nothing.
You just have to do it without thinking too much.
You have to do it. And I feel like a lot of people, मेरी ना एक वो philosophy है about how businesses work and how they don't. जो बहुत intelligent लोग भी होते हैं ना, they're very calculated. So they think about the repercussions, they'll think about the pros and the cons before they get into something, which is also very important. You have to be calculated when you're taking any financial risk. But I think boldness is a very strong trait. You have to be bold, you have to take decisions in order to make anything work, because if you're not bold enough to take a decision for yourself, you'll never know if it's going to work or not, right? You'll just end up procrastinating and just thinking कि अच्छा मैं कर सकूंगी नहीं कर सकूंगी. वो सेल्फ डाउट की जगह नहीं होनी चाहिए.
एंड आई थिंक आप जितना सोचते हो उतनी आपकी सेल्फ डाउट की जगह बढ़ती जाती है. द मोर यू थिंक द मोर इट विल ग्रो.
The more it will grow, the more, yes, and you'll feel कि okay, the thing about your brain is sometimes you have to trick it. You have to tell yourself that you can do it, and I think everybody is capable of doing it. It's just about having that willpower. It's about having that trust in yourself that you can achieve it. Obviously, you have to be prepared for the worst, but then don't focus on the worst. Focus on the best that can be achieved.
Come out of this.
Yeah, just for example, when we moved from my home and to a commercial area, and when I had put all my savings there, I was literally I was broke at that time. And I was like, this is do or die. Like, I have to make this work. And I was very focused, and I was very like determined to make everything, go the way I wanted to. But then hua kya, that I conceived Ira, my youngest daughter. And that was, for me, I think the timing was just so wrong. And I was very upset being a human being, obviously, कि यार मैंने तो इतना इस time पे मेरे साथ क्या हुआ है, maybe कोई और time would have been better. और I remember one day I was very upset, लेकिन मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा ना अल्लाह ताला से दुआ मांगी कि please, you've put me in this situation, and I'm just putting all my faith in you, and I'm going to go with this decision, but you have to be my savior. So I worked throughout my pregnancy, and I remember when you came to me for your bridal makeup,
Yeah.
I was expecting
Yes, you were like, I think almost full term, and you were
Yeah.
on your feet, and you were doing
Yes.
brides like
no tomorrow.
no tomorrow, like you're not pregnant, like
Yeah.
I नहीं रहा था उसके अंदर
Yeah.
demeanor में कि I'm pregnant.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, because I was like, no, I have to do this, and I was, I'm also very like strong-headed. When I decide to do something in life, when you take a decision, you just have to do it.
Giving up is not an option.
Giving up is not an option, and I've learned that from my parents. Like,
Acha.
because my mother, she's a very independent woman. My father was also very progressive when it came to women's education and girls being groomed properly. So usme tha, we were raised up with such positive energy. And my father was a pilot, and he was normally, when we were small, he was flying all over. He had flights to different places, and he wasn't around that much. So that meant it was my sisters, it was my mother, and my mother took charge of everything. Like picking us up, dropping us to school, the groceries, the bills, and everything. She was in charge. Or kabhi kabar raat ko, like if we had to go to the doctor, because we were 3 sisters and then my mother. So we were just women,
Just
in the
women.
house. So hum ja rahe hain, and we never felt ke koi aadmi ki zarurat hai in order to achieve something. We were doing everything. So, you get that strength from your parents as well. That
When you watch them do it,
yeah, when
you absorb it.
You absorb it. So, I've always seen my mother as a very independent woman. And even my father, he's been like, he was a very, very positive role model for me. So usse you get that strength of being able to achieve anything in life. And I want to, and I really pray that I can give this energy to my kids. Because at the end of the day, we do so much, bhag dhor for them. So, I hope that I'll be able to be, as my parents were for me.
But I think कि I'm pretty sure you will be. और ये मैं इसलिए बोल रही हूँ क्योंकि यही बात है ना कि आप नसीहतें अपने बच्चों को जितनी भी कर लें, जब तक आप उनको वो चीज़ प्रैक्टिस करके नहीं दिखा रहे ना, वो उसको कभी भी एब्जॉर्ब
नहीं कर सकते.
हाँ, वो शायद वो चीज़ सीख जाएंगे कि हाँ ये चीज़ आप नसीहतें करते तो वो ये चीज़ तो सीख जाते हैं कि हाँ ये सही वाली चीज़ है. लेकिन जब वो प्रैक्टिस करने की बात आती है
You have to preach what you're teaching.
Yeah, and if they haven't seen it happen, then it will not come naturally to them. So आपका जो अभी क्या कहते हैं लाइफस्टाइल है, it comes naturally to you, right?
Yes.
And the reason for that is because you've seen your mother do everything she's done. She's been your female role model. अगर ये चीज़ें सिर्फ आपको बताई गई होती,
it would have been a different story.
It would have been a different story. I think you would probably know कि मुझे ऐसा करना चाहिए, लेकिन
कर सकती हूँ
या नहीं.
Are you able or not?
हाँ. So हम क्योंकि मदरहुड और बच्चों को रेस करने की बात कर ही रहे हैं, तो एज अ वुमन आई नो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे कि जो माँ होती है उसके ऊपर बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है, बच्चों उसी पे होती है काफ़ी ज़्यादा. ठीक है, आपका एंड नॉट सेइंग कि योर पार्टनर इज़ नॉट सपोर्टिव और एनीथिंग. आपका पार्टनर जितना भी सपोर्टिव हो, माँ है और माँ ने बहुत कुछ करना है बच्चों के लिए. तो उस चीज़ को इस करियर के साथ लेकर जाना जो कि एक बहुत डिमांडिंग करियर है, लाइक बीइंग अ मेकअप आर्टिस्ट, बीइंग अ
Oh yes, it's very demanding.
क्या उसे कहते हैं कि ब्राइड्स का मेकअप आर्टिस्ट ऊपर से.
एक तो makeup artist is a bridal artist.
Yeah, it's extremely demanding. And
It is.
You have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids, mashallah.
Haan.
And it is demanding, no doubt, because it's a commitment that you make to someone who's getting married. And it's the
Yes.
most important day of their life. And you cannot back out. That's not an option. So
And you can't not perform well.
you can't have cold feet.
Yeah.
There's no room for error. There's no room for mistakes. You know. तो अक्सर लोगों को लगता है कि ओ मेकअप आर्टिस्ट चिल जॉब है, जाएं मेकअप करें और वापस आ जाएं. But you know, in other jobs like an office job, you're sitting and you're working. In the education sector, आप पढ़ाते हैं, you're roaming around. But I feel like in this line of work, I am constantly standing in one place, Hamna. Like imagine you standing in one place for 6 hours. Because seat
Bride
पे
after bride.
आपकी seat पे clients change हो रहे हैं, आप उधर ही खड़े होके makeup कर रहे हैं. So it takes a toll over your physical health and stuff, no doubt. But then again, you have to but to be honest, जब मैं मेकअप कर रही होती हूँ ना, वो जो 6-7 घंटे होते हैं ना, मुझे नहीं लगता कि मैं खड़ी हूँ. I'm so engrossed in what I'm doing and I love it. You know, for me it's an expression and मुझे नहीं लगता कि मैं खड़ी हुई हूँ, इतनी देर से खड़ी हूँ, मैं थक गई हूँ, मुझे पता भी नहीं चलता. हाँ, जब मैं घर आती हूँ, that's another story.
तब पटास निकलती
तब होती है. And you know, but I make sure that my kids know that how hard I'm working. It's very important to educate kids about what you're doing and that you're doing it for them. ताकि उनमें एक sense of you know, they have that sense of appreciation that develops at a very early age. And also, Hamna, I would also like to appreciate all the women who are working with kids, because we just see it as a very general thing. You know, she's working, she has kids, she has home. But trust me, it is such a huge responsibility. You have to actually juggle. You're a juggler. You have to juggle the kids, you have to juggle your work, the you know, ghar ke maids, everything is like you're juggling everything. And you know, and the key to this is being organized. Taking one day at a time and being organized. Like I am very organized that way, alhamdulillah. Like I plan out everything. So I'm at ease. If I'm working for a few hours, तो पीछे से I've planned out everything, made a timetable that my kids are following, which I'm also following. And वो हर चीज़ जब एक rhythm में चल रही होती है ना, it's like it works out. But if I'm unorganized, if I have a makeup call at for example 8 in the morning, I'll make sure that I'm up at 6:30. I'll take some time because you know, I do have hypothyroid, so मुझे medicines लेनी होती हैं. I have to sort of you know, come to life of, you know, and then I have to make sure बच्चों का बता के जाऊँ. तो you have to be organized. और उसमें ये भी है कि I'll tell you an interesting thing. In these past few years, I've never had any bride जो मेरी तरफ से लेट हो. एक भी नहीं है. I can say this on record कि माशाल्लाह I'm so punctual. I make sure all my brides are out at their assigned ready times. Like कोई मेरी तरफ से कभी भी लेट नहीं हो.
Yeah, and planning की आपने बात की, I'm all about planning. And I know for a fact कि it makes so much difference in how your day goes अगर आपने plan और organize किया हुआ. And a lot of the times things will not go according to plan, but just having a plan gives you a sense of direction and आपके mental clutter कम होता है.
बिल्कुल.
तो आपका जो डे है ना, उसमें you are more motivated, you have a better direction in how you want to sort of lead your day, and you have more control over your day. It's just the feeling of control that you have over day because you've planned it.
And also जो हमारे एक थोड़े से mental barriers होते हैं ना, जो हमने सोचा होता है ये नहीं हो सकता, when you plan it out before time, it becomes easy for you. So you know, I think everybody who is planning to work with, and I'm sure जो करते हैं वो, they must be organized. You can't have it any other way.
You can't.
Abhi, for example, if I have a trip planned, I have to plan it around 6 months in advance or 4 months in advance, and during that time I'm not taking any appointments. I'm making sure कि मेरा staff
because लोगों की शादियां हैं, you can't, you know,
I can't just disappear at the last.
I feel like taking a vacation.
Okay,
so
bye.
you figure out कि आपने अपना makeup कहाँ से कराना है.
No, never. So you have to be sincere with what you're doing at the end of the day, because ये word of mouth बड़ी एक ज़रूरी चीज़ है in my line of work.
बिल्कुल.
और मेरा most of my clientele that I get for my brides or other, you know, clients, they're mostly from word of mouth as well, because we have developed such a reputation over time. We work only on appointments.
Right.
We don't take walk-ins, and
ठीक
especially
है.
COVID में appointments lena bhi, it's like it's more systematic, it's more organized, it's safer.
It's safer.
But apart from when it was COVID free, हम तब भी appointment based काम कर रहे होते थे. Yeah.
So you mentioned कि आपको hypothyroid है.
Yeah.
And मुझे पता है कि it's not as uncommon as people think. A lot of people have hypothyroid.
A lot.
And
More than you think.
लोगों को पता नहीं होता कि लोगों को hypothyroid है. And I'm sure कि hypothyroid comes with its challenges as well. That's what I've heard.
Yes.
Because it's affecting your entire metabolism.
Yes.
Right? So how does that affect you and your work, and how do you deal with that? Because मुझे ये चीज़ पता है कि अगर बंदे की physical health में कोई मसला होना, overcoming that is very difficult to continue your mental health में भी होता है definitely.
बिल्कुल.
उसी तरह physical health में भी आपको, और hypothyroid को तो I think direct link है with mental health as well.
Yes. It has a direct connection with your metabolism and also your mental health.
Yeah.
Because there are two sorts of thyroid. There is hyper, in which your metabolism is working, overworking.
Yes.
And then there's hypothyroid, जिसमें आपके underwork कर रहा होता है. So the side effects of this problem is, it's a silent disease. जैसे some diseases are right in your face, like if you're diabetic, if you have high blood pressure, and people consider it very serious. But जो silent diseases होती हैं, it's an autoimmune disease. तो उसमें people think that because वो इतने visible signs or symptoms नहीं होते, तो people take it for granted.
लेकिन वो उतना ही lifestyle को affect करता है.
It's a life-altering disease. It's a
Yes.
life-altering disease. But then I think for people who are going through this, they shouldn't lose hope, because I think nothing in the world is as strong as your mind. Nothing in the world. Like you have to, whatever जो आप अपने mind, जो आपका mind अपनी body, आपको की body को बता रहा होता है, it's functioning that way. Obviously you have to take medicines to
Mind
maintain
over
it.
matter वाली बात है.
Mind over matter. So when you put your mind to something and you think you're going to achieve it, you know, Allah Ta'ala help kar deta
Your
aapko,
body will support you if your mind is ready.
if it's ready.
Yes.
And if sometimes we're completely, you know, we're fine, we're physically healthy, but kabhi kabhar hamara mind, it's so depressed, we're disabled. हम लोग डिसफंक्शनल हो
वही
जाते
कहते हैं
हैं.
ना कि अगर डिप्रेशन हो जाए या ऐसी कोई चीज़ होता है जो, तो यू कांट गेट आउट ऑफ बेड इवन दो यू आर फिजिकली फुली फाइन, बट जस्ट द मेंटल बैरियर कैन बी सो स्ट्रॉन्ग दैट इट कैन डिसेबल यू.
It can disable you. जैसे अब when I initially found out that I had hypothyroidism,
ठीक है.
I went to a doctor who's who was an endocrinologist,
ठीक है.
and she told my husband that don't freak out, there will be some days where you will probably have to slap her to get her out of bed. वो इतना थका हुआ होता है बंदा, because the metabolism is so slow that उनसे उठा नहीं जाता. And when she said that, Hamna, some things really affect you. And I just thought to myself, no, I can't be that person. I cannot be someone who can't get out of bed and someone has to actually, shake me.
To wake me up.
To wake me up. I just can't be that person. And at that point, that was a turning point.
You decided.
I decided, no, I can do this. I can fight this. It's all in my head. And I can be, I can get up. तो उससे था कि I have a very active lifestyle, उस तरह से कि I'm working like you. If people who see me in my stories, they'll know कि I'm up at 7, at 8, going to my makeup calls. फिर उसके बाद when I come back home, I'm not the sort of person जो बस chill कर देगा. I have to make sure that my kids are studying and groceries time पे आई हुई हैं, and a lot of things. Like I have a lot of responsibilities. So I'm always on the go, and I'm one of those people who just can't take a nap during the afternoon. फिर पता नहीं, I don't know. I've never been that person. So I'm extremely active, and for someone to have hypothyroid, वो बिल्कुल एक ना opposite चल रहा है, because वो लोग बहुत वो होते हैं, tired होते हैं.
हाँ, hypothyroid में तो आपकी एक्टिविटी कम होती है, hyper में ज़्यादा होती है.
But I just don't leave room in my mind to be so फारिग. I'm always preoccupied with something. I always have something planned out. So that really keeps me going. You know, वो जो कहते हैं ना, empty mind is the devil's playground. वो नहीं seen. वो मतलब when you're busy, you don't even have time to sit and think, oh, you know, I can't do this. I have this issue, or मेरा मतलब I can't achieve this. You just don't give your mind that फारिग टाइम टू थिंक के आपको सेल्फ डाउट में डाल
थिंक एनी
सके.
नेगेटिव थॉट्स. आपका दिमाग फारिग होगा तो आपको सेल्फ डाउट
Obviously it is difficult, but ये है कि you know, women who are going through this problem, a lot of people say, oh, you lose hair, you do this. ये वो मैं इतनी इस तरह के negative aspects के ऊपर I don't think about it. I just think about the positive aspects of what I'm doing in life, and it keeps you going on and on. So
हाइपोथायराइड में क्या क्या होता है?
क्या होता है? एक तो आप you can feel depressed very easily. You feel very fatigued. Like you feel tired. जैसे if हमना you've had a very tough day, you know, you've overworked yourself, तो अगले दिन when you wake up you'll feel tired, right? Normal बंदा जब सो जाता है वो थोड़ा सा बेहतर feel करता है अगले दिन. तो normally when people with thyroid, when they get up in the morning, they feel tired in the morning. They don't feel, not well rested. It's not a deep sleep. तो उसमें ये होता है कि you feel कि you're up, but ये कि your mind is still not there. It takes you a little time to get back to life वाला scene होता है. But ये है कि you have to you know, you have to accept it. एक तो लोग denial में जो चले जाते हैं ना कि नहीं मेरे साथ ये क्यों हो गया और अब क्या होगा, I am dysfunctional, I can't do this, and they go into this mode of self-pity. That's very destructive. That's destructive not only for people who have thyroid, but for anything. When you go into that mode of self-pity,
अगर आपने यही चीज़ एक्सेप्ट कर ली कि आप नहीं कर सकते तो फिर आप नहीं कर सकते.
So you've just failed right there.
Yeah, you gave up.
So for me, when you see a problem, you acknowledge it.
Accept it.
You accept it, and then you solve it. Solve it. Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be for everyone.
Okay, problem. Time to solve the problem. Not dwell in the problem.
Not
you
dwell.
can take like 2-3 days to accept and acknowledge. And,
obviously.
You know, but you can't sit on it.
You can't sit on it. It's just a waste of time.
So, how did you develop this passion for makeup? Where did it come from? When did it start?
Okay, so it was very accidental.
ठीक है.
लोग सोचते हैं ना कि मैं बड़े होके ये बनूंगा, ये बनूंगी, and they have like career paths carved out from the beginning and stuff. It didn't happen like that with me. I was very creative throughout. I was very artistic. I loved to paint, and I was an art student. I had arts in my A-levels, O-levels, and then when I went to NCA, I graduated in miniature painting. And miniature painting, you know what it is, right? It's a very small-scaled paintings, which it's
बहुत डिटेल,
बहुत डिटेल. मतलब एक ब्रश जो हमारा होता है वो 1-2 बालों का बना होता है. So it's like a whole different expression. I can't just, you know, if for example, if I want to paint a miniature, हमना, I'll have to plan it out. I can't just go take out a canvas and just stroke it, and it has to be like in a well-lit room. बिल्कुल साफ सुथरा corner होना चाहिए और मुझे 3 घंटे कोई disturb ना करे. That's the sort of you know, expression that it requires कि बहुत आराम से, and your soul needs to be connected to your brush. You have to, एक line है वो बिल्कुल smooth और एक consistency की बननी चाहिए. So you can't have breaks in it. So it's all together, you know, उस तरह का मेरा था. What was the question?
How did you develop the passion?
Yeah, so from painting. So, you know, I did that. And I've had my art exhibitions. But एक दिन after, like, this is long after I had done my degree in fine arts, I was just doing someone's makeup, and I realized कि जिस तरह मैं पेंट करती हूँ ना, उसी तरह की टेक्निक से मैं मेकअप भी कर रही हूँ. And it just hit me that it is so similar. It's still brushes and colors and just the canvas is different.
The canvas is a face.
और देखो miniature से भी कैसे connection है कि miniature is also very small scale painting, and look at the eye. It's a small space.
So tiny.
It's so tiny, and you have to do the transition. You have to bring the depth or the, you know, all these techniques on it. So I just thought that this is also very similar to how I paint. and I took it, you know, and I wanted to take out that label, क्योंकि हमारी सोसाइटी में बहुत labels हैं कि I remember when I initially started.
When you initially started.
So when I initially started doing makeup, तो ना लोग बड़ा differentiate उसे करते थे कि oh, you're an artist, you used to paint and now you're doing makeup. Why did you change your career? And I always debated over this matter that no, I'm still painting, you know, I'm still painting. It's a different sort of an art form. And I didn't want to label it differently. You know?
वही काम है, canvas different है.
हाँ, क्योंकि हमारे we have very limited perception when it comes to art, isn't?
Yes.
I feel cooking is a form of art.
Yeah.
ये जो culinary schools हैं, like what do you think they're doing? It's more than art in my point of view. और तो I've just translated my expression in a different direction. And also, you know, now that we're talking about makeup, what I've seen, Hamna, is that a lot of girls are shying away from makeup. Normally when I have clients, we have a consultation before I start doing their makeup.
ठीक है.
Or generally आजकल ना a lot of people are very scared कि ज़्यादा ना हो जाए, makeup ना हो जाए, मैं लगूँ, मैं ये, मतलब they have certain preferences. And also they come with their own bag of insecurities about, oh my God, you know, my ये feature मेरी ऐसी है, ये इसको आप कुछ करें या वो करें या इस तरह से ना. But they come, and the ironic thing is that they're there for makeup, but then they don't want it. You know, they'll either do makeup to look good for a boy or to go to a function, or whether if they're feeling really down about themselves and to make themselves good. That's how people have started sort of, connecting themselves with makeup, that, oh, zyada na ho jaye, I don't want to slap it on, but it's an expression. Just like, you know, when we dress up every day, sometimes you're wearing an Eastern outfit, sometimes it's a Western, sometimes we're just in our PJs. It's how we're expressing ourselves. And makeup is a form of expression about what you're feeling and how you want to project yourself. And it, you know, makeup is such a powerful medium. It has the power to transform.
बिल्कुल.
And when we talk about transformation, people are always focused on physical transformation, about how to transform their bodies and how to transform their minds. But what about appearances? You know, you have that power. And I feel that it's a very strong tool to make yourself feel more empowered.
Yeah, confident and powerful.
And, I'll tell you a story. So there was this bride a few years ago who came to me. So when she came in, she was very underconfident about how she was looking, and she's like, oh, you know, I want my makeup to change this feature, I want you to change this feature. She was very underconfident about the way she used to look. And मेरा ये होता है, मैं सुनती सारा हूँ, and मेरी एक आदत है, whenever someone says, oh, you know, I have a fat nose, or I have a thin nose, I have a small, I have a big, I always tell them, no, you look so nice. It's just how you are, because everybody is beautiful in their own way.
बिल्कुल.
And I do want people to get rid of their insecurities that have been sort of conditioned in our brains because of society.
ठीक है.
Because every little, you know, when you see a small child, they think that they're perfect. Because nobody has told them otherwise.
They don't have the concept of a fat nose or
a dark complexion or a fair complexion, or you know, they just,
unless कि किसी ने कुछ
उनको
बोला
डाला
हो.
है, उनको वो, you know, किया हुआ है. So I feel that everybody is perfect in their own way. And I want women to get out of these insecurities. So उस bride को ना, I listened to what she wanted, and I told her, listen, you know, you're looking at yourself through your eyes and through what people have told you. If you look at you through my eyes, and I'm an artist, I feel like you just need very little makeup to sort of accentuate your features. And if you've come to me and you trust me and my work, let me do what I think would look best on you.
ठीक है.
तो she wanted a very dark sort of makeup, और मैंने बिल्कुल उसको कहा कि just trust me. अगर नहीं अच्छा लगा, we'll wash your face and I'll do what you want, but you have to trust me.
ठीक है.
Because I felt that girl needed that too, to have that sort of confidence about how she looked. तो मैंने उसका ना बहुत no makeup और बहुत light सा किया, और मेरी जो signature dewy skin है, I gave her that. And when she got ready, and she was literally, every single person who was sitting at the salon came and she was like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. And that really helped her build her confidence. And she came to me, I think she came to me after 2-3 years, and she's like, you know, she hugged me and she's like, I think you might not remember this, but you gave me so much confidence that I've stopped you know, doing the things that I was doing initially, and I've started owning my own features, and I do it according to them, and I don't care what people think. So for me that was a small little achievement कि चलो किसी को makeup के through
impact किया
है,
positive impact
yeah,
किया.
and and you know, normally makeup is a very positive thing. Like if you're, you know, if you're feeling down and you just get up and you get ready, automatically you'll want to go somewhere.
Yeah, and you'll want to do something also.
You'll
अब
want to
मेकअप
do
करके
something.
बैठ गए ना तो आपको दिल चाहेगा कुछ तो करें.
हाँ,
Yeah, so you'll be
stories
more
बना लेते हैं.
productive in क्यों कोई तो देख ले. No, and also like that's true because आप उठ के मेरे लिए बहुत important चीज़ है. चाहे मैंने स्टोरीज बनानी हो या ना बनानी हो, मैंने तो खैर ऑलमोस्ट एवरी डे आई अपीयर ऑन स्टोरीज, बट I get up in the morning and I take a shower and I do makeup, and the reason for that is that it gets me going. It's like a start, and it's like
elevation.
Yeah, it's a self elevation. Bilkul. So and it actually really helps.
It's makeup is more skin deep than you think, because it impacts your mental health immediately.
Yeah.
एक तो होता है ना कोई चीज़ें आहिस्ता आहिस्ता करती है तो immediately it lifts up your mood and everything. तो वो बड़ा एक important वो चीज़ है. और इस दफ़ा ना COVID में, you know, what happened was because people were moving towards a smaller celebration. So a lot of girls used to call me up and they used to be like, acha, because my function is very small, can I just get a party makeup? And I think कि जितनी लड़कियों ने मुझसे फ़ोन करके ये बात की है, मैंने उनको सारों को, मेरा थोड़ा सा टाइम उनके साथ लगता था कि listen, you're getting married, it's the most important day of your life. Don't get dressed up for people, get dressed up for yourself.
Just because it's a small function.
हाँ, मतलब it's the most important day of your life. अगर even if there are a few people involved to celebrate it, it's still your day. You should look like a queen.
Yeah, that's true.
है ना?
हाँ, एक ज़माने में ना, क्योंकि हम मेकअप की बात करें, मैं मेकअप इसलिए करती थी बिकॉज आई वॉज नॉट कम्फर्टेबल इन माई स्किन, यू नो, कि अच्छा मेकअप करके मैं बेहतर लगूंगी, लोगों को बेहतर लगूंगी. अब ये है कि मैंने स्पेशली कोविड के टाइम पे मैंने कहाँ ही जाना था, ठीक है, एंड विद इंस्टाग्राम एंड इट्स बिलियन फिल्टर्स, लिटरली नोबडी नीड्स मेकअप.
That happens, that's true.
Yeah, ठीक है. सो बट आई स्टिल ऑलवेज गॉट अप एंड डू इट. और वो जो एक चेंज मेरी मेंटालिटी में हुई है कि मैं मेकअप इसलिए नहीं करती बिकॉज आई एम नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन माई स्किन, or I need to look good for this person or that person. I do makeup because it again makes me feel empowered, and that it starts my day कि अच्छा मैंने कुछ करना है, मैं बस I'm not just going to lie down around all this. So it has that sort of impact on me personally कि मैं जैसे ही मेकअप करती हूँ,
You're a different person. You have a different energy level.
Yeah, I have a different energy कि अब मैंने कुछ करना है अपने दिन के साथ, whether that means just going in the kitchen and cooking, you know, but it
or
gives
making
me
stories,
yeah,
or doing
it just gives me a different kind of energy. Doing the same task I would probably be doing without makeup on, but just with
a better energy level, a
yes.
better vibe. Yeah, I can completely understand that. And also like जिस तरह हम लोग अपने supplements लेते हैं, it's to make ourselves stronger, to make ourselves feel better, for a healthier you know, health, उस तरह से to feel healthy. तो उसी तरह there are a lot of external things that you do to make yourself feel good. जैसे exercise है, when we do that we feel, oh, you know, I've done something good. इसी तरह I think makeup is very important. अच्छा, और बड़ा मज़े की एक चीज़ हुई थी, I think before COVID I was invited to TMUC. It's a university, Roots की ही है, and they wanted me to be the guest lecturer there and talk about makeup and everything. So they wanted me to give a small little demo. तो मैंने कहा who wants to come here, और सारी लड़कियों ने हाथ खड़ा कर दिया. मैंने कहा what about the boys, what's up with that? तो एकदम से ना there was just like they're looking at each other कि क्या, and then मैंने एक लड़के को बुलाया,
ठीक है,
मैंने कहा I'll do makeup for you. वो freak out हो गया ना,
जाहिर है।
वो freak out हो गया कि what,
हाँ,
me, are you gonna do makeup on me?
हम्म,
मैंने कहा why not? मैंने कहा देखो girls put in so much effort to make themselves presentable and to make, why can't boys do the same? And I was like, by makeup I don't mean I'm going to give you a very glittery lid or anything. मैंने कहा you have dark circles.
I'm just gonna cover those.
Yeah, you have pores. So don't you want to look better for yourself and stuff? तो मैंने उसका ना वो एक ना no makeup look create किया था.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा,
So we did the correcting and we did like the pore minimizing and just like the concealer. That's it. But मैंने उसकी before की picture ली और after की ली. मैंने कहा देखो तुम लोग जो pictures लेते हो उसमें भी तो आप photoshop कर करके अपनी
एक ही
pictures
बात है,
लगाते हो.
हाँ.
तो but why are we shying away from something that is instantly making us look better? एंड ये जो बीच में ऑब्वियसली यू नो ये तो खैर बहुत ही आगे की थी कि मैं लड़के का किया, बट द थिंग इज कि आई वुडंट माइंड इफ यू नो वी टॉक अबाउट मेंस ग्रूमिंग, तो अगर थोड़ा सा कंसीलर लगा के इफ दे हाइड देयर अंडर आई सर्कल्स, नथिंग लाइक इट.
अच्छा मुझे भी किसी ने मैसेज किया ना, somebody I know personally as well, तो मैंने उसमें अपना मेकअप कुछ शेयर किया हुआ था रिसेंटली स्टोरीज़ में, तो फिर मैंने कहा कि मेरे डार्क सर्कल्स बहुत काफ़ी ज़्यादा हैं, सो कंसीलर इज़ माय फेवरेट और मैं कंसीलर यूज़ करती हूँ द मोस्ट. और मैंने शेयर किया हुआ था मैं कौन सा कंसीलर यूज़ करती हूँ, तो उस लड़के का मुझे जवाब आया यू आर लकी यू कैन यूज़ द कंसीलर ना, मेरा तो बैड सीन है, आई हैव टू लिव विद देम. मैंने कहा नो,
नो यू कंसीलर
किसी को पता भी नहीं चलेगा, जस्ट यूज़ इट.
अच्छा सो आई this is something that you know I have a younger brother, he's a teenager. तो उसको ना बड़ा वो होता है, हाँ he's a yeah,
I thought you were just sisters.
yeah,
अच्छा.
मेरी sister छोटा भाई है बहुत.
हाँ.
तो he came out, I was at my mom's place and he came out मुँह हाथ धो के उसके बाद towel से ड्राई किया, बैठ गया. मैंने कहा don't you want to moisturize your face? He's like what, why? मैंने कहा no, you have to, because it's a skin essential that you need to put in your everyday routine, because in the long term आपकी skin dry होगी और ख़राब होगी, तो this is not just for the girls, it's also
स्पेशली स्किन केयर. चलो मेकअप की तो
care.
मुझे समझ आती है कि इट्स डिफिकल्ट फॉर बॉयज टू एक्सेप्ट, लेकिन स्किन केयर तो बहुत
but वो
इंपॉर्टेंट है ना.
acceptance हम ना मेरे point of view में होनी चाहिए. हम लोग इतनी चीज़ें accept कर सकते हैं, तो why can't a man be manly enough to accept that I need a little bit of concealer?
No, and you need that from society as well, ना, not just men.
वो
It's the same as
validation
अगर वो
बहुत-
यूज़ करना भी
वो
चाहते हैं तो
validation
उनको,
बहुत कम मिलेगी उन्हें सोसाइटी से. They need to be confident.
एंड दैट्स सेम एज के इतनी सारी चीज़ें औरतों को नहीं पहले करी दी जा सकती थी, लेकिन उन्होंने की ना, जो मर्दाना कंसिडर होती थी. हाँ, तो फिर आप ये नहीं कर सकते कि अगर कोई लड़का है वो कोई ऐसी चीज़ करना चाहता है टू फील बेटर
Yeah,
एंड यू स्टॉप हिम
yeah, I
or
think
frown upon it.
हाँ, I don't think, I think be and let be, live and whatever,
That live.
let live.
हाँ,
हाँ, उस तरह का होना चाहिए. And it doesn't apply to us, it applies to everyone.
everyone.
तो उसमें I was just sort of encouraging कि you know start using a skincare product. You should, it's very healthy, because हम लोगों को we think it's not manly or rugged enough if a man is using a product that's more associated with beauty. Why?
Doesn't make sense. Of course he can. सही. When did you get married?
Okay, so I got married very early. I was in college at that time when I was engaged, and then my father-in-law was very sick, so he wanted कि उनकी life में ही हमारी शादी वो उनके सामने हो जाए. So obviously my father was the sort of person who wanted me to finish my studies before I got married.
So he was very passionate about.
He was very passionate, and he was just like, you know, I don't want कि तुम कुछ भी करो, but I want कि तुम पढ़ाई अपनी
पूरी करो.
Like he was that sort of a person. Nor with me, and with my sisters as well. One of my sisters went to LUMS, and the other one is from LSE, and I'm from NCA. We're all from very good, you know, prestige universities and stuff. But वो उनका था कि you have to पढ़ना है. तो उस time पे when I got married, I was in my second year of university. और बड़े मज़े की बात that I'll share with you is कि जब मेरा निकाह था जिस दिन ना, तो you know, we have the right to put any condition that we want in our nikah nama.
अच्छा.
interestingly. You can write anything.
लोगों को पता नहीं है ये
लोगों
बात।
को नहीं पता, बट अगर आपने कहना है ना कि मैंने कुकिंग नहीं करनी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं शादी के बाद कुकिंग नहीं करना चाहती, यू कैन राइट इट डाउन एंड इट्स अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट।
इट्स अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लाइक एनी अदर लीगल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जिसमें आप दोनों पार्टीज कोई भी क्लॉज लिखवा सकती हैं।
हाँ, तो एट दैट टाइम माई फादर वॉज लाइक, हम निकाहनामे में लिखेंगे दैट जवाद माई हस्बैंड, उसने पढ़ाई तुम्हारी ख़त्म करवानी है, ठीक है। सो वी एक्चुअली ही हैड दैट written down
इन द
निकाहनामा, और उस टाइम पे थोड़ा सा हो गया था कि अच्छा इसमें हम तो करवाएंगे, लिखने की क्या जरूरत है। माई डैड वाज लाइक नो, हम लिखेंगे, एंड माई डॉटर हैज टू finish her studies. तो फिर हुआ क्या कि आई वाज स्टडीइंग, बट देन इनाया का सीन हो गया कि आई वाज आई कंसीव्ड हर, और मेरी ना स्टडीज़ में एक ब्रेक आ गई। तो my husband was also very upset कि how are we going to tell your dad this, but
क्योंकि वो चीज़ अब लिख गई
है, it's on paper and वो करनी भी है। But then I took a break, but then after Inaya had turned 1, I went back to college. And Hamna, that was probably one of the most difficult things that I had to do, because as a mother, and especially when you have a small child, you're always very concerned about कि उसने सही तरह खाया है, वो सही टाइम पे सोई है, मैं नहीं होंगी तो वो you can't expect other people to give your child that attention that you as a mother can give. तो वो बड़ा एक
मुश्किल
challenging सा एक situation थी, but then my mother was very supportive. They were like, yeah, we will take care of her, you go back and just finish what you've started, because I was selected on merit. So he's like, you're so talented, you just can't let that go to waste. We look after everything, and abhi she's small, she doesn't feel it, but jab badi hogi wo zyada feel karegi, so right now go back and finish it. So I went back to college with a 1-year-old, and I graduated with a distinction.
Mashallah. Wow.
Yeah, because I think you just have to set your mind to it. And it happens, matlab ho jata hai when you think about it. Us time pe ye bhi badi ek tension thi ki acha, I'm going 2 years later, I'm going to study with a group of kids who are 2 years younger than me, aur wo acceptance ka factor aa gaya, will they accept me, will I fit in, what will I do, so many insecurities, but itna अच्छा था वो decision, and for me age is a number. So when I went back, I felt like I was years younger. And
बहुत बड़ी बात है ये, because बहुत लोगों को, स्पेशली हमारे कल्चर में, बहुत लोगों को शादी की वजह से अपनी पढ़ाई छोड़नी पड़ती है।
sadly.
और वापस नहीं जाते लोग, आइदर क्योंकि लैक ऑफ सपोर्ट होता है फैमिली से या कुछ, या बस दे कांट फाइंड इट इन देमसेल्व्स कि अच्छा आप बच्चे हो गए हैं तो वी डू इट, एंड आई थिंक है तो पर्सनल डिसीजन, अगर कोई नहीं करना चाहता तो दैट्स डिफरेंट, बट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर जस्ट नॉट एबल टू इवन इफ दे वांट टू, सो इट्स अ रियली रियली गुड थिंग के वेयर यू वर, you did it.
No, also Hamna, to be honest, you need your husband's support as well.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're doing all this. So luckily I'm blessed with really good in-laws. They were very helpful, and my husband's been like there throughout. So you've been a part of my master class.
I've seen
and
that.
you know how proactive he is with everything that I'm doing. And also porcelain is his brand as well, because he helps me with so many things.
Yeah,
it's not
I've
just
seen
me
that.
alone. So उसमें ये बहुत ज़रूरी होता है that you support each other.
I think आप you don't अगर आपका पार्टनर सपोर्टिव नहीं है, you can't do as much.
You can't. Not at all. So ये है.
It's a privilege actually. It's a blessing.
Yes, it's a teamwork.
It's a teamwork. बिल्कुल.
Like you and Muzammil, you guys do so much together. I don't think एक बंदा अकेला वो achieve कर सकता है.
It's double. Like marriage is teamwork.
Yeah, it is. So.
Would you like to talk about any of your failures when it comes to porcelain?
I don't think that I would call anything a failure. I would just call a few, obviously you've had good experiences, bad experiences with everything. But, okay, so like 2 years ago, we shifted our branch to Berriatown. And I took that decision because my little sister had moved back from Lahore, and I wanted her to look after that branch. and I wanted ke she should be a part of the, or of the brand and everything. So you've been to my Beria branch,
Yeah.
and it was
It was beautiful,
it was
by the
very
way.
thank you. Yeah, so yeah, all designed by me and my husband. But ये था कि it was doing really well, and उसमें मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा thought process डाला हुआ था, and it was going well. My sister was looking after it, but बीच में for some reasons she couldn't continue looking after it. She also had a baby, so obviously her priorities changed, and तो मुझे उस time पे she told me कि I won't be able to do it, and तो फिर क्या करना है and stuff. So अब now that was a running business for me. We were doing really well over there as well.
अच्छा.
But हम ना, because I'm already so preoccupied in Islamabad, I have makeup appointments nearly every day over here. So for me to run from one place to another was
दूर
just
भी है ना,
crazy.
करीब नहीं है.
करीब नहीं है, it's a good 50 to 60 minutes drive, and फिर rush hours में आप फंस जाओ तो आप 2 घंटे कहीं नहीं गए. तो उस टाइम पे I took a decision of closing that down. It was a very hard decision because एक तो ना कि काम चल नहीं रहा, आप बंद करो वो और बात है, बट चलते हुए काम को बंद करना वो एक डिफरेंट डायनामिक है. बट उसमें ये था, what I thought was that nothing is more important than my peace of mind.
बिल्कुल.
And no amount of money is worth my peace. So I have to फिर होता क्या है, जब आप 2 जगहों में पाँव डाल देते हो, ना आप इधर के रहते हो ना आप उधर के रहते हो. And I don't want to compromise the quality of my work. People have there've been many times when people have asked me for franchises, and I have blatantly refused. Because I just don't want the quality of the work that we're producing, which is art. Okay, and everything is customized. I don't want to hand that over to someone just for the sake of making a few extra bucks,
Yeah.
तो उसमें ये था कि we had to close down that setup with a very heavy heart, because वो बहुत प्यारा बना हुआ था और बहुत अच्छा, we were doing so much, and अभी तक like 2 years later अभी तक लोग मुझे फ़ोन करके कह रहे होते थे आप वहाँ नहीं थे, हमने उधर आना almost every
And
other
it
day.
was a very big parlor.
Yeah, it was a very
So
big
that-
studio.
I can
space
tell,
अलहदा
I can
थी,
tell कि
वो
वो
थी.
इतनी बड़ी investment थी.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But me and Jawad, we just thought कि अभी we can do this better. We are based in Islamabad. We can pay more attention over there. अगर हम वहाँ भी करेंगे तो maybe हमारा brand name affect हो सकता है. तो we just took that decision कि नहीं, ठीक है, अभी is not the right time. Abhi we need to concentrate over here. So, but I wouldn't call it a failure. I would just call it an experience
That you learned from.
that I've learned from. So, yeah.
Abhi, for a lot of businesses, but especially for salons and makeup artists and all, COVID has really affected you guys, because
Yes.
obviously
Service industry.
nobody's going to come to a parlor and you are not even obviously allowed to keep it open. So that was a challenge for businesses as well. So
Yes,
how did
we
you
had to
manage
cope up.
that?
We actually coped up. We were closed in, और हुआ भी किस तरह से कि बिल्कुल peak wedding season जो March, February,
Spring
March
वाला
वाला
जो
था,
आता है.
spring वाला wedding season was gone because because of the lockdown and the whole COVID situation, और वो नया भी था, people were not aware of क्या है, क्या करना है, नहीं करना. So we were closed for good 3, 4, 5 months जो था. But alhamdulillah, one thing that I'm really proud of is that I didn't let any of my staff go. I retained all my workers. We were not working, we were not doing any business. I was paying them out of my pocket, but hamna, you have to look out for your community sometimes. That's so important because we were all in it together. The pandemic was for everyone. Everybody had suffered. But ye hai ki, I was because these women have been a part of my brand since the start.
You can't just abandon
I
them.
can't abandon them. I've empowered them. I have taught them so much,
और उनकी ये वाकई रोजी रोटी है. Like their lives depend
Yeah,
on you.
मुझे बल्कि बहुत ज़्यादा COVID में I got so many calls from different, workers from different salons के we've been fired, we're looking for a job,
हाँ,
और
people
बहुत
let
अच्छे
go.
brands थे
हाँ.
जिनके who let their workers go. But I decided that no, I'm going to retain it and let's see. और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह I feel कि जब आपकी नीयत अच्छी होती है ना, एक अल्लाह की तरफ से
खुद
मदद
ही
आ जाती
वसीला
है,
बना देगा
खुद ही
कि
हो जाता है, everything works out for the best. और फिर also what it does is कि the girls who've realized कि I didn't let them go, they work with more effort. They put in more of their
because
heart
they
and soul.
saw that एक मुश्किल वक्त में भी आपने उनका साथ दिया,
हाँ,
आपने
हाँ,
उन्हें छोड़ नहीं दिया
छोड़ नहीं
कि
दिया.
देखो
तो
मेरे लिए मुश्किल है तो तुम मेरी मसला समझो और तुम
yeah, so I can rely on them just like they can rely on me. तो वो कोविड का obviously it affected everything, and when we reopened तो we had a number of SOPs that we were following. I was completely over the edge because I was so paranoid about spraying everything. और अभी भी ये होता है कि जब when a client leaves, we have to disinfect everything. We're using disposable products, and constantly after every makeup I'm washing my hands. I'm wearing masks and everything that we're supposed to. Ventilated room hai, सब कुछ कर रहे होते हैं, but this is the new way of life. We don't know how long it will last, and we can't just stop doing everything.
yeah,
And
you can't.
so you have to alter your lifestyle according to what we're going through. So, but alhamdulillah, it's much better than what it was before. Obviously, it did affect the service industry because there's a very close contact between the customer and the workers in our line of work. But I think working with precautions is the only thing that we can do. And also right now, people need to understand that we have to support our local businesses.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of restaurants close down. I've seen so many salons being closed down because obviously वो support नहीं मिला.
People were not ready to. But that's really good, Fatma, because I know कि कोविड के टाइम पे सबके लिए चैलेंजिंग था. For my mother as well, because she had a school. Schools भी बंद हो गए.
The learning curve.
School and हाँ day care. तो उनका भी यही था कि that she kept all her staff and she kept paying her staff. So and I know it was very difficult for her. उनके लिए भी बस ये था कि यार I might have to close it down eventually, but I'm not going to stop paying these people until I
completely
can जब तक मैं कर सकती
हूँ. बिल्कुल.
I think as a business owner इस तरह के challenges बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं कि where you have to put yourself पीछे और अपने employees और staff को आगे रखना पड़ता है and you have to make that decision कि अच्छा चलो
and also हमना apart from these things you also have to set the tone. Like by that I mean that they look up to you.
Yeah, they look up to you.
So even if there is an
you're
obstacle,
a leader.
So even when there's an obstacle, you have to face it. Like if you're so pessimistic about what's there out there and you've been hit by a problem, so eventually it trickles down on them. So when you see कि एक बंदा who's leading the team is so strong-headed and they can face it, तो वो energy उनमें भी आ जाती है कि हो जाएगा. Confidence आपको देना होता है, जिस तरह बच्चों को आपको confidence देना होता है ना, तो उसी तरह.
Exactly. They're looking up to you, so you have to take that responsibility.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to say, Fatma?
Thank you for having me over, Hamna. It was lovely talking to you.
Yeah, it was lovely.
But I just, it's amazing what you're doing as well. I really appreciate this, that even though, which trimester are you in?
I'm in my 3rd trimester.
Yes, so,
I'm almost starting my 8th month now.
Oh, mashallah. So, you're in this, in this situation where you're also doing so much. And even to interview someone you have to have some research and you have to invite them. It has to be organized. So I just feel so proud of the fact that I'm surrounded by such amazing women who's doing so much, so I would, I'm really happy.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you. और मतलब मुझे यहाँ बैठ के बड़ा मज़ा आता है बात करके लोगों से, because there is so much to learn from.
Yeah, so I was, when I was in college, तो हमारा ये होता था different artists के ना visits होते थे.
ठीक है.
So my minor was printmaking at that time, and we had a Chinese, I think printmaker over. She was Hamna. She was around 85 years old.
अच्छा
Yes, and she was traveling,
ठीक
so
है
she was invited over as a guest.
ठीक है
And at that time, she showed us some really technical things about printing. And at that time, she said one thing that really inspired me was that, you know, you keep learning till you close your eyes. And I've made that a motto in my life. I never think that I know too much. I'm always open to learning new things. I'm always traveling to learn more techniques about makeup, about art, about everything. Because I feel, and even from my students, because, you know, I just feel कि कुछ ना कुछ I'm still learning from them as well. You know, this is a process that's never ending. Nobody can know everything. So when you have that mindset and
मतलब जब तक आप जिंदा हैं
you'll keep evolving.
हाँ
You keep evolving because अभी मुझे जो लगता है ना जो हमारी ब्यूटी इंडस्ट्री में what it's lacking is innovation. जो
बस
चीज़ें
same
20 साल पहले से चल रही हैं वही चल रही हैं और उधर रुक चुकी हैं. जो आगे आ रहा है, there's so many new trends that have been introduced through Instagram, mostly through Instagram actually, और वो trends follow नहीं होते इधर because people don't want to evolve their style of working. They don't want to adapt new techniques and new procedures. They just want, they've developed a comfort zone.
हाँ
तो उस comfort zone से निकलना ना मेरे लिए तो बहुत ज़रूरी है. Like I push myself to.
that's good. All right, thank you so much Fatma for
welcome.
taking out the time to do this. मुझे बहुत
problem.
मज़ा आया
मुझे भी.
and I'm sure that there's so much people can learn from this.
I hope that I've inspired, if not a lot, but थोड़े से लोग and
impact even on one person is a very big
yes,
deal.
yes.
मुझे याद है जब मैंने अपनी ब्लॉगिंग शुरू की थी तो मैं तभी ये सोचती थी कि अगर एक इंसान लाइक फॉर मी सक्सेस वाज कि अगर मैंने एक इंसान को भी पॉजिटिवली इम्पैक्ट कर दिया ना अपने काम से तो माई जॉब इज़ डन या लाइक देन आई हैव अचीव्ड
and that's such a beautiful thought.
कि एक बंदा भी अगर किसी अच्छी डायरेक्शन में मेरी वजह से कुछ भी करता है छोटी सी भी चीज़
Yeah.
तो आई हैव अचीव्ड
And you know this, what you're doing with the Happy Chirp is so important. It's much needed at this time because people have lost motivation.
या
they've just lost motivation. They
yeah.
don't feel determined enough to do things. So this really will inspire a lot of people, and maybe they can do something that they weren't planning to do. You know.
Yeah,
So
like
this
you
came
said,
at the right time.
You know, from that woman, she said one thing and it stuck with you. So with all of these women coming and saying all of these things,
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that there is one thing that sticks with someone and
it will.
changes their life.
Inshallah.
So, चलिए जी बहुत शुक्रिया आके आने
It
का.
was a pleasure.
बहुत
It was a
मज़ा आया.
pleasure. Always.
All right.
Thank
Bye
you.
everyone.
Bye
Allah
bye.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.